Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I'd like to talk about Rahu and Ketu in terms of the fate and destiny that comes about, especially when they are on the Ascendant. So I want to talk about Rahu on the Ascendant as well as Ketu on the Ascendant, because people that have this in their chart have a certain fate and destiny that their life evolves into. And I tell people with this placement, you may feel like you are making plans to go a certain direction, but at the last minute, something seems to pick you up and put you in a different place, and you end up someplace that you didn't plan, because there is a divine destiny at hand here. There is this guidance, this plan that has been set out for you. Probably you set it up, but one way or another, you're going to be taken down that road. Why? Because these are the determinants of our fate and destiny. Rahu, Ketu. They are so significant in a chart. But let's talk about those that have Rahu in the first house, because this is so destiny oriented, and particularly the closer that it gets to the Ascendant. Because I'll tell you, probably someone that this will totally make so much sense to you is John Kennedy Jr. He was born with Rahu within a degree of his Ascendant. And so what does that mean? His life was fated. I mean, he came into this world, and what happened? At age 3, his father, President of the United States, JFK, was assassinated when he was just 3 years old. And his whole life had a course of fated-like events up into his death, where he was in a fatal plane crash that he was flying himself in 1999. What's so interesting, though, with looking at his chart, you know, John Kennedy Jr. was always, everyone thought, okay, he's going to be the next president, right? Everyone wants to see the Kennedys as in politics. He took the bar 3 times and flunked it. And he was a laughingstock because of this, but the fate and destiny was that he was not to be president, but more than anything, not even be in politics. He tried to push it, tried to make it happen, but it didn't happen because this was not his destiny. His destiny was to be in writing. When he had his magazine, George, that was when he was flourishing. That's when he was happy, because he finally was following the course that his destiny was allowing him to be and to do. But unfortunately, in this tragic accident, that is another part of the fate and destiny of his life, it took his life. But Ketu, remember, Rahu and Ketu are always exactly opposed one another. So that put Ketu in his 7th house. Well, wherever Ketu is in a chart is where you feel like something's missing. There's a karmic debt, something from the past. Ketu is the past, while Rahu is the future. But looking at that Ketu, it's conjunct the moon in his 7th house. So he has a moon Ketu in his 7th house. He died with his marriage partner, they were always reportedly fighting. They were always having their issues. Probably fighting even in the plane while it was going down, but that's not a pleasant thought. But just consider this. The moon Ketu in the 7th house, there was a karmic destiny to be fulfilled with the partner. Now let me take a little look at his mother, okay? Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis. Let's talk about this chart, because in this case, she has the opposite. She has Ketu exactly on her ascendant. Now, it's been said that when Ketu's on the ascendant, sometimes people are very thin. Well, as we get older, things do tend to change. But for the most part, those that have Ketu on the ascendant, especially when they're young, they're very thin, very fit, very, very thin. And Jacqueline was known as this mysterious character that no one really knew. She talked with this sweet, soft voice, and she was this big mystery to the public. No one really pretty much understood her or knew her, but boy, was she chased by the paparazzi, and her pictures were the most valuable. She was hunted by cameras her whole life. People wanted to know about her. She had this sense of fashion and design, but she was always so untouchable. That's Ketu on the ascendant. And when Rahu or Ketu are on the ascendant, people feel like they really don't connect with society. Kind of feel like outcasts. And in a sense, Jacqueline Kennedy wanted to escape society in the world. Why? Because she feared for her life after her husband was killed. Therefore, after her husband was assassinated, the only way that she felt like she could find safety would be through somebody who could protect her. And Aristotle Onassis, the big shipping tycoon, one of the richest men in the world, owned a shipping industry out of Greece, biggest in the world. She married him because he could protect her. He said, "I'll take you away and I'll put you on my private island, Scorpius," which I think that was probably one of the main reasons why she went with him. But going back to Rahu and Ketu, Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis had her moon with Rahu where? In the 7th house. In the 7th house of marriage partners. And whenever you see the moon can represent the masses, the people, masses of people. It represents fame many times. And Moon Rahu, you'll see many famous people with this combination. But it's in her 7th house of her marriage partner. Rahu Moon. Exactly opposite, of course, her Ketu on the ascendant. But get this. Rahu represents foreigners many, many times. And the fact that Rahu was with the moon, her second husband was a foreigner. He was Greek. But her first husband was extraordinarily famous. He was president of the United States. Rahu moon in the 7th house. Isn't that interesting? And I just wanted you to feel a sense of how destiny-ridden when Rahu or Ketu are on the 1st, and of course one's got to be in the 7th. And it's because of her marriage partner that she became a celebrity, so well known in the world, First Lady. And believe it or not, when President Kennedy was assassinated, she was in the moon Rahu Mahadasha Bhukti. I think that's very telling for the whole dasha sequence and cycles that Vedic astrology uses for prediction. But what happened was when she went into the cycle of the moon with Rahu, that is what triggered that destiny in her life. And this was a part of the whole of the plan that her and her son were destined to be a part of by the placements of where their Rahu and their Ketu were in their charts in relationship to their ascendant right on that exact degree. Jacqueline had had Ketu on her ascendant, and John Kennedy Jr. had Rahu on his ascendant. So, and I mean they're within a degree. So with that, I hope you've learned something about the significance of these destiny, fate-ridden points in space and how they relate to the birth chart, especially in the 1st and the 7th house. The closer to the ascendant, the more intense. So with that, I'd like to close. If you would like more information on me, you can always go to my website, which is galacticcenter.org. And if you would like to learn Vedic astrology, go to my university website, which is University of Vedic Astrology.com. Thank you.